Hello everyone, it's Dove again. So I am going to do an unboxing video here of my new power station. This is an Amproad 300 watt, and at the time of purchase it was $200 and there was a $20 coupon, so I actually paid $180 for this, which is a super good price for a power station. And it does pretty much everything that a normal Jackery or a Bluetti would do. It's just a lot cheaper, and so I thought I would go ahead and unbox it here and show you what we got. I saw this on the Smalls RV Adventure, and I also use their Amazon link to support their channel, so I will try to put a link to Ricky and Anita's YouTube channel down in the description of this video. There's the manual. Hopefully there's not too many typos or anything in here. I'm probably supposed to charge it before I use it. That's what they all tell you to do. So right in the top, there's this box. It's actually really well packaged. Let me show you. It's got the foam all the way around. And then that's probably the cables and everything. Yeah, it's pretty securely packaged. It's a big piece of foam in there, so it's definitely not going anywhere. And there's more foam underneath it, so it's really well padded. Let me set you down again. Yeah, they put it in a bag, and then there's more of the foam in the bottom, so it's not going to get knocked around or anything so easily. Alright, I know the lighting is so bad in here, but my neighbors are outside, so I don't want to do this outside. There are 4 of the 120 watt or 120 volt outlets, so just your standard household outlets, and then there is one USB, or sorry, it looks like 2 USB-Cs. There's one right there and one right there, and those are both power delivery ports with 60 watt, I think. Okay, no, the one over here is a 60 watt, and that is like 22.5 watts, but it's also a type C, but only one of them is the power delivery, it looks like. And then there's just 2 regular USB-As, and those are 20 watts each. And then each thing is power, it's got its own power button, so that is similar like a Jackery, because on the Jackery each one you have to turn it on. So this one's USB. So it's only got 13 watts or 13% right now. You see that? See, they don't have any lights to indicate which one is on. I don't like that. So I just turned that on. See, there's no indicator lights like on the Jackery. There's one little tiny light that is right next to each one of these buttons, and the light comes on and it'll tell you which one's on. Just now I did not see any lights come on. That was the AC button. I guess you have to push it for a second. See, yeah, okay. So I guess the indicator lights are digital up here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell that. That says AC right there. So there is an indicator, but it's up here on the screen rather than being a little indicator light down here. It'll show you up here on the screen. Turn that off. See, yeah, you have to press it for more than just a split second, apparently. Okay, well, this is a little bit not like the Jackery. Okay, and now it says, okay, now it says DC up here at the top. So yeah, there's just no lights down here. That kind of confused me at first. Alright, so I don't see any way to turn off the display. I did see in the review, or somebody had asked a question, whether you could turn off that display on Amazon, and somebody said yes, but I don't actually see anywhere that you can turn off that display. Now Ricky, when I asked him, he said it does not go off, and at night he would just throw a towel over it. And so it looks like he was right, and whoever was answering that question at Amazon was wrong. Alright, so there's only 13%, so I'm not going to try to test this or use it or anything until I charge it up first. And there's the charging brick to charge from the wall. Right there. So that's for AC charging. And that's strange. So to charge it from your car, this is a 12 volt on both ends. So that's really strange. That's a special type of connector back here. Like if you wanted to charge it with a faster charge, there's no cable for it. The plug is there, but there's no cable for it. And I guess if you want to charge it from your car, you have to charge it via the 12 volt. That's kind of weird. I'm not sure I like that. And the cables are, I don't know, they're pretty weakly looking, but I guess it would work. But there are no cables at all for solar charging. This is all you get, is this little brick for AC charging and this for car charging. So the solar panel that I got will plug, I'm pretty sure it will plug directly into the input. There's an input on both sides, so that one, and all the way over here there's an input. So if you had two solar panels, you could plug them both in at the same time. I only bought one 120 watt panel to use with this, and the connector that comes with it is, I think, a DC 5521, and hopefully it should plug right into there, because that's all I have. This is the only power station I've ever been sent that didn't come with some kind of cable to charge for solar. So that's kind of disappointing. Let me just make sure real quick that this would work. This is the Tishi Harry solar panel that I did a review on the other day. And so allegedly, this is going to be able to be plugged right into there. Yeah, and it does. So the cable that came with this solar panel actually works on this without any kind of adapter or anything. It just plugs straight into there. So thankfully the solar panel came with all the cables I need, because this did not. Again, I find that really kind of strange, but it'll be okay, I guess. Alright guys, so I'm going to charge this up. It's at 13%. Let me see what time it is. It's almost 6:30 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this charged up, and I will let you know how long it took. It's pretty sleek. I don't like that you can't turn the display off. That's kind of strange. But for $180, this is probably, you know, a really good budget power station. So hopefully it lasts a good long time, until the battery dies at least. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, so I just wanted to show you some more stuff while this is charging. It's been almost an hour and a half, so it seems to be charging at about 30% per hour, so that's pretty fast. And it fluctuates from, I've seen it going from 97 to 104. It doesn't seem to be very stable as far as the input goes. Like, it's jumping around all the time. You can probably see that. It's just constantly moving around. And so whatever. And this does not have a fan in it at all. And so the front of this is actually a little bit warm to the touch right now. And the charging brick back here behind the camera, it is very hot right now. Very hot. So I'm not sure if I like the fanless feature, because I can see it getting warm. And there is actually a little icon, it's a little thermometer that will show up if this gets too hot, or if it's operating at too hot of an external temperature. But it's like 120 and 140 degrees on the discharge, so it would have to get really hot for it to power down because of the heat. But it does have a battery management system, and so if things get too hot, it'll shut itself down. And so, like I explained, for the output, when you push the buttons, it's not like the Jackery 500 that I have. There's no little tiny light indicator. It's all up here along the top that it will show up. So if you turn on the USB, a little indicator saying USB will show up, and so on and so forth. And for they call this number 1. This is the input, and it's input only, and that's 120 watts maximum. And then this is the first Type C input, but it's also an output. So this is bidirectional, and it's a power delivery 60 watt port. And then these two USB-A's, they're the smart quick charge USB-A ports. And then this second Type C output is it does say PD for power delivery, but then it says 22.5 max, and it's output only. And then the DC down here at the end, both of these at the ends, these are DC 5521, and like I think I mentioned already, you can input on both of these at the same time, but each port is 120 max, and then altogether, if you were charging using both ports, it would be, they say, a 200 watt maximum input. So altogether, 200 watts is the maximum that you can input on this unit. And then I was kind of pleasantly surprised, because I didn't know why they had sent a cable like this. It's because you can actually charge your car battery with this thing. So that's a new one. I've never seen that on any of my power stations before. But if you plug this into the DC port there and plug it into your car, it will actually charge your car battery. So that's actually pretty cool. And it's smart enough to know what you're doing, you know. So if you're charging it from the car battery to there, I guess, I'm assuming it's smart enough to know that you wanting to charge this rather than you're wanting this to charge your car battery. So I guess that's how it goes. But yeah, this is bi-directional, and so that explains that little cable. But over here is the second DC plug over there, and I can't show you right now, but it says input and output. So this DC is for input only, but that DC plug, which is the same exact thing, is input and output. And there are some stipulations for how you can run this and manage it. And the product manual is actually not bad. I've seen worse. So this is pretty good, and it's accurate. It seems to be accurate, and there's not a lot of typos or anything like that. But it will explain pretty much everything to you. I mean, it takes a minute to go through it, but it does explain it all. And then that port on the back, what do they call that? Yeah, it's a quick charge port on the back, and it's a 200 watt brick. This one behind me, this is only 100 watts. So allegedly, I guess, you know, they must sell a brick, an AC brick that will fit that port back here. That weird little 3-prong thing. I guess you just have to buy the correct AC 200 watt AC charging block that had that exact end, and then you can, I guess, charge back there at 200 watts. But either way, no matter how you charge it, 200 watts is the maximum input on this thing. And there was something else I think I wanted to say. Oh yeah. That's, sorry, lost my train of thought. But it tells you actually in 2 different places, so they're pretty serious about this, that if it's plugged into the left side for charging, so number 1 over here, if it's plugged in to that and you're charging, then you can't use the USB outputs. So if you need to use the USB outputs at the same time you're charging, then you need to plug the charger in over on the right side, okay? And then if it's plugged into the right side like I have it, then the system won't let you use the 12 volt auxiliary plug down here. And so if you need to use this at the same time you're charging, then you need to input over here on this one. It's a little confusing, but I mean, they do explain it pretty well. But I don't know, it's actually really nice. I'm kind of impressed the more I look at it and the more I read the manual and everything. It's a lot more comprehensive than the Jackery 500, and I guess this is comparable right now to the Jackery 300 that they have out right now. Sorry, I can't talk. But yeah, they show you how to use this quick charge 200 watt charger, but I honestly, I didn't see anything like that on Amazon as an option. I'm not sure if you could go to their website maybe and get this little thing. And then this is pretty cool. The AC output frequency switching, you can change it from 50 hertz to 60 hertz. That's actually really cool. I've never seen that before. And when I had it on earlier, I saw that the default is 60 hertz. So you can change that to 50 hertz if you actually have a reason to do that. And then of course it's got all the LED lights and everything. I'm not gonna go through all that, but these are the lights right here, and they tell you, you know, they explain to you how to turn them on, because there's a regular light and then there's SOS, and there's one more option. I thought there was one more option, but yeah, there's these two lights here, and then also in the back there's also those two lights. And seems to be a difference between those two lights. Yeah, the front LED light is a cold white, and it's got on, SOS, flashlight, and off. And then the back light is a warm white, and it has all the same functions. So that's pretty cool that they actually have two different types of lighting for whatever situation you're in. And then it's got troubleshooting in the back, and there is a 1-year warranty, and they actually do have a physical address in Ontario, Canada. And it's got, yeah, like I said, it's got troubleshooting back here, and if something should happen. Sorry, I'm holding that crooked. But yeah, it's not a bad little manual. Oh, and yeah, okay. And this is another one of those weird ones. If the product is plugged into the cigarette lighter for charging, so if you're charging this from the car, you cannot use the output of this side. Remember, this is an input and an output DC. So if you're charging via this, you cannot use that output port. I think that's it. Basically, it's already up to 60%. I don't think it'll take very long. It says for charging, that's not real clear, but it gives you, it's about 4 hours for charging. It looks like about all of them, except for the Type C, that power delivery, that would take about 6 hours. The one on the back, or no, this is the adapter plus the Type C, would take about 2 hours. So obviously if you can get 200 watts going in here at once, it's going to charge twice as fast. But in general, it looks like it's going to take about 4 hours to charge it normally. And for the solar panel, they have in quote brackets, you know, parenthesis marks, ideal sunshine. So this is the solar panel that I bought to use on this. I already tested it on the Jackery, and it was only bringing in about 67 watts maximum. So the solar panel is not going to charge it as fast as the AC outlet that I have right now. So that's it. I just wanted to explain the ins and outs of it a little bit, because I had not looked at the manual when I was doing the unboxing. So I learned a lot by reading the manual. Go figure, right? So it'll be done here in probably about another hour. So when it's all done, I will either come back on and make another clip, or I'll just add some words at the end or whatever. But oh, that's the other thing. Sorry, I keep going on about this. It's a 300 watt pure sine wave inverter, and so this is safe to use to run your computers and stuff, because you really want the pure sine wave inverter when you're using electronics and everything like that. And there was something else. Oh, the battery. The size of the battery is almost a 300 watt hour. Yeah, it's a lithium ion, 299.52 watt hours. So it's, you know, commensurate with the inverter size. And the voltage is 14.8 volts, 800 cycles for the cycle life. You could probably pause that and read it maybe if you want to. Alright, I will talk to you in a bit when this is all charged. Hold on. Alright, so it's charged all the way now. It is 7 after 9. So from like 10% charge, it would probably take about 3 hours. It hasn't been 3 hours yet. And you can see it just dropped down to 0. And so the battery protection will make it stop when it's at 100%. And probably a half an hour ago, the input dropped from about 100 to around 40. And that's because once it gets into the higher range, it starts limiting how much power can come in. And so it was probably at about 82% when this dropped down to 40 or 45 watts. And then again, just recently it went down to 20 and now down to nothing. And so I'm just going to unplug this and do some preliminary testing. I've got a fan over here. I can try to test the AC with. So yeah, you see the 60 hertz right there. And then the AC comes on. Is this a grounded plug? Yeah. That's not a grounded plug, but it goes one way. Alright, so that's my fan on high. So it's pulling 59 to 60 watts. I'm not quite sure how much the inverter itself is pulling. I'll turn it off. It's reading 7, so I guess the inverter itself is taking about 7 watts. That's kind of strange. So 2 of these are grounded plugs. The 2 on the bottom are not, but they do still have the one side that's wider than the other. Yeah, the inverter's taking about 7 watts. So I'm going to assume that all of these work. Yeah, nothing's plugged in and it's still pulling that. So the AC works, and then the USB, I do not have anything USB-C, so I can't test that. But I can test the regular USBs here. And this is my light. So it's about 4 watts to operate this light that's here behind you. Check the other one real quick. Yep, both the USB-A's work. Again, I can't test these two, and I don't really have anything that I could test for this one either. And the one thing that I realized that I'm not going to be able to do here, well, I didn't buy this to run a refrigerator, but if I wanted to run a refrigerator, I would not be able to do that while I was charging from the car. And that's because obviously if you've got your cable in here and you've got to charge it from the car and you can only plug it in to here to charge it, then you don't have that free port to run a 12-volt refrigerator. So if my Jackery stops working for whatever reason, I would not be able to use this while I was charging it from the car. It's possible because sometimes you can find splitters, and I do have one for the Jackery, but I'm not sure if it's the same size or not. It should be the same size. And so it's got this barrel connector right there, and then it's got a short cable to one of these. So that could be a workaround to maybe so that you could use this, charge it while you're driving, and run a refrigerator from it down here. Well, over here you would have to run the refrigerator. That's a possibility. So I am not going to test that, I don't think, because again, this is just, I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but this is for my clam and for like using at picnic shelters and stuff, because it's nice and light and portable, and you know, it won't be a big deal to, you know, take this out to the clam or anything. I do have 3 other power stations, and they're all pretty much just going to live inside my rig, and so I just needed something that I could take in and out of my rig really easily and just take it to a picnic table. And I guess the only other thing I don't really like is there's no way to check your percentage without turning on one of these things. Like right now the USB is on, and that's the only way you can check the percentage. Like on the Jackery, there's a little button for display, and if you just push that, the display comes on and you can see really easily how much charge you have left. But there's no button to allow you to do that. You actually have to just turn on one of these things to be able to see. Oh boy, that's the light. Oh, that's the backlight. I don't know if you can tell, but that was definitely 2 different lights. One's warm and one's cool. So you push it once for the front light, and you push it again for the back light. Oh. There's the SOS. There's the flashing. And then one more time is off. Sorry if that blinded you guys. So yeah, the lights work. And I think that's it. I like it. It's a nice little unit, and hopefully it doesn't ever overheat. I'm not quite sure about the whole non-fan thing. That makes me a little bit nervous, but you know, it is very, very quiet because there is no fan. Alright. Sorry this got to be such a long video, you guys. I will talk to you again later. Bye.